Okay, good morning, everybody. Super excited to have you on the call today, Thursday, Throwback Thursday. Um, I love this slide, Together Everyone Achieves More, and I think all of us on here could agree that we are doing that with our group here. As you know, every day I do my daily gratitudes. I hope you do too. They have really found in life that this is something that really helps you as an individual grow and do more in life in terms of your um, professional, your personal life in general. So these are my gratitudes and my SMART goals every single day, my 8 points a day at least, and I'm going to get my 1,000 in new personal production, which is my goal from day one, and my 8 points a day. So if you don't know what the 8 points are, or you're new on this Zoom, we are tracking our points of activity. Okay, so we're not looking at what sales we do or who we bring on as brand partners. That's going to happen, and we want that to happen. But what we're doing is we're tracking our activity, and so these are the points that we're giving ourselves, and we're trying to all achieve at least 8 points a day. If you achieve 12 points a day, that's awesome. If you achieve 20 points a day, that's amazing. But really, our minimum is 8 points a day, not our maximum. So these are the points that you can kind of guide yourself on. And it's pretty simple. Some people do their 8 points in 20 minutes. Some people do their 8 points over the course of a day. So just have fun with it, and then post it on the page. Post your activity on the page so everyone can see how awesome and all the activity that's going on. Tonight, we are going to do a Zoom like this at 5 o'clock West Coast time, which is 8 o'clock East Coast time in any other country. If you have people in Australia or people that speak English in any other country or across the United States, just figure out what the time frame is. But it's 5 o'clock West Coast time, and it's going to be very similar training to what we're doing every day here. And it's about 15-20 minutes. So if anyone wants to jump on tonight, 5 o'clock. Okay, Randy Martinsen. Now you guys know Randy. He's on the Zoom every single day. And Randy is somebody that I met through Nerium, through Johnny, and he was at an RRP that we were at in San Francisco. And from what I know, he wasn't going to do network marketing, but he really liked the culture and I believe the products of Nerium. And he's been such a blessing to all of us because he's an entrepreneur. He's a writer. He has a blog that you guys can see on Facebook, and you can get the information from him. And it's awesome stuff because he's a marketing guy, and he's been a marketing guy his entire career. He's also a winemaker. So if you want to get on his good side and get his wine, definitely tell him how wonderful he is. He's a father, he's a husband, he's a grandfather, and he's an awesome guy. So I'm going to turn it over to Randy Martinsen.
Well, thank you, Annie. That's really sweet of you. I'm getting my screen ready to share here. Okay, thank you for that. I love being on this call. This is a great mastermind group, and I'm very grateful for Nerium coming into my life. And as I'm going to actually help you understand why, my big why I decided to join Nerium was primarily because its philosophy, the philosophy of the company, the philosophy of the CEO, Jeff Olson, the management team, and everywhere they are headed is in perfect alignment with where I'm headed in my life, which is to give back and to help people learn what they can learn to grow and reach their dreams, because I think everybody should reach their dreams. All right, so I'm going to talk about what I used to teach as a marketing guru to a lot of companies. I had over 196 clients in the United States and Canada, including some big names that you may know. And these folks wanted to learn a marketing methodology. And the beautiful thing about Nerium is when I looked at Nerium, the methodology I teach is exactly the methodology that Nerium uses. So we have such a blessing to have that here. So let's talk just a little bit about the difference between marketing and sales, because even though ultimately what we're doing is selling, we need to close a sale, we need to have people join, we need to have people buy the products. it is not our primary focus as marketing brand partners. So the sales is the act of convincing. And John Smith prospect needs to understand what we need or what he needs. And so whether it's a product, service, or an opportunity, salespeople convince. So if you go back to the day when the internet didn't exist and you wanted to go buy a car, whether it was new or used, you would get a salesperson who was full of information there and tried to convince you to buy the car that day. And it was very high pressure, and it was very frustrating and very offensive to a lot of people because they weren't ready to buy. They were just looking for information. Sales clerk at a retail store is a salesperson also. These people, they're there to close sales and to ring them up. And so that is sales. We have a different role at Nerium, and as marketers, the act of what marketing is the act of educating John Smith until he's ready to buy the product, service, or opportunity. And this requires 5 specific actions. This is different than the exposures, and I'm going to talk about exposures in a minute. But what we want to do as expert marketers is find out John Smith's hot buttons. Because unless there's a hot button and you're speaking to the hot button, they're not going to pay attention. No one is. You wouldn't. If you don't have some issue with your skin, or you don't have a frustration in your life that makes you want to look for another opportunity, this opportunity or this product is not going to be something you're going to have any interest in at all. So you need to find out what John Smith's hot buttons are. Then the next thing is to interrupt by speaking directly to the hot buttons as it relates to our business. The next thing is to find out if he wants to know more. And if he says yes, then we're going to put him into a drip system of sorts, whether we do it manually or whether we use a computer system to do it. But we're going to drip educational material on him until he buys, dies, or tells you to go away. Okay? And then we make offers that get John Smith to take action. This is the educational spectrum of a typical prospect. So you have 10% on a bell curve who know nothing about skincare, know nothing about network marketing, know nothing about anything that we sell. And then you have 80% of your prospects have some knowledge of some kind or have a need for skincare. Or brain health, or wellness supplements. The other 10% on the far right-hand side are those who buy or sign up. And our job as marketers is to walk John Smith from the left side of this bell curve to the right side of the bell curve without using convincing words. All right? We want to educate them. So what is marketing's job? Marketing's job is to capture the attention of your target audience. Now, this can be anybody with skin or brain, or somebody who has a need for an opportunity. Then give them hope that reading or listening or watching a marketing asset will give them enough information to facilitate their making the best decision possible when buying what you sell. And for us, that's both products and opportunity. And then give them a specific, low-risk, easy-to-take action that will further facilitate their ability to make a good decision. Now, notice I didn't say close a sale. I didn't say get a customer or get a brand partner. What your job is to give them an opportunity to learn more, okay? The bottom line is that your ads and your communication should make the prospect feel like he'd be an absolute fool to do business with anyone else but you, regardless of price, okay? This is done with what I call the marketing equation. And this is just like math. 2 + 2 = 4 all the time. 2 × 2 is 4 all the time. Okay. So math works the same way. Well, marketing has an equation. We call it interrupt, engage, educate, and offer. And what the interrupt is getting them to pay attention. This is piquing interest. This is done in headlines, in ads, and it's done with us as a 30-second elevator pitch. or some other way for them to see it. Just looking at our skin and them saying, wow, you look awesome. What are you doing? And you simply say, I'm doing Nerium. And then they say, what's Nerium? And then you engage with them. That's the next step. And so once they've asked a question, or once you've got their attention, you want to engage by giving them something that's going to keep them interested. The next thing is education. And this is where most of us don't focus and don't spend time. Again, it takes anywhere from 5 to 9. That's been my experience. I've heard numbers from 5 to 7. I've heard 6 to 9. It doesn't really matter. My personal statistics are 5 to 9 contacts or exposures before somebody will actually take action. And taking action simply means going to a meeting. It could mean physically doing something they would not normally do. So we just need to be diligent about getting the word out there and keep dripping on them until, as I said, they buy, die, or tell you to go away. The last of this is offer. And Nerium does this so well. And it's so easy for us because we have a 30-day money-back guarantee. We have awesome eye serum samples. We have eye serum parties where we can actually do eye serum demos. And sharing the bottle, that's getting them to do something and take action. And it's no risk. It's either low risk or no risk. So what are hot buttons? Let's talk about that for just a second, because I think it's very important to understand the difference between an interrupt that is not a hot button and one that is. If you are in a crowded room and somebody says, Randy, I'm immediately going to stop what I'm doing because my name is an interrupt, and I'm going to scan the room and see who called my name. And then I'm going to look at them, and if they're not looking at me and it's another Randy in the room, then, or they were talking about somebody else, then I'm just going to lose focus and go back to what I was doing. But if they had interrupted me and it was for me, I might then take steps to go say hi or whatever it is. So your name is a hot button. John Smith has hot buttons, and we need to know what they are. So our job as an expert marketer is to always be interested in them and to ask questions. This is something that I do at the RRPs. I put the products away on a counter in a corner. They're not on the table when somebody comes in the room. The brochures are not laying out all over the place. It's just in a small section of the room in the back corner. And what we're really doing is having fun. We're getting to know each other. There are people who come that I don't know, and I want to learn all about them. And that's going to help me understand what their cares are, what their interests are, what their family is like. And that's going to also help me know how to speak to those hot buttons when it comes to Nerium. So there's a quote here that I just love, and it says, if you want to know why John Smith buys what John Smith buys, you've got to see the world through John Smith's eyes. So we just need to learn who John Smith is, or Jane Smith, and we need to make sure we understand it clearly. And what you're looking for are things that I show here, which you always speak to the hot buttons. And for us, hot buttons are looking good or feeling good, or their job sucks, or they may be happy with their job. You don't want to speak to a sucky job if they don't have a sucky job. Okay. So also, they want to spend, some of them may want to spend more time with their family, and they are not spending as much time as they want to. Some want to travel. Some want to give back to others. It doesn't really matter what it is. What your job is to find out what those hot buttons are and then speak to those hot buttons. Okay. Now, in Nerium, they've given us an opportunity to do this in a methodical, step-by-step way. We have a beautiful system. And if you're not totally familiar with the system, go to the trainings, go to the back office, learn how the system really works, because if you follow the system, it really works. For 8 months of this business, when I started Nerium, for the first 3 weeks, the first 4 weeks, I did really well. And I was growing and everything was fantastic. And then I fell flat on my face. For 8 months, I went limping along and slow because I did not follow the system. And I'm an expert marketer. I'm a guru, but I had my own system and my own way, and I was following my own path. And what I didn't understand is that network marketing is slightly different than traditional marketing because it's face-to-face. So Miriam gave us a success planner. It's the most awesome tool on earth because it gives us all of that system that we need to learn and understand. And we need to be familiar with it. So if you haven't got a copy of it around, I would suggest you go to the back office and print it and follow it. Look at it again, even if you've been in the business for a while and you're feeling like you're very successful at what you do, it might pay for you to just browse through it and see what's there. The lists are so critical. What you want to do is make a list of all of your family, your friends, your associates, everybody. And I caution not to filter. Just all you're going to do is expose. So you don't have to decide how they are, where they are, what station they are in life. And you'll be surprised. There may be people who are on your chicken list that will join. And I'm one of those people. For Johnny Mwalampur, I was on his chicken list and he didn't introduce it to me for many months. And after he did, I still chide him to this day. I wish you had let me know 6 months or 8 months earlier, but it's just what it is. So don't filter. Use the memory jogger to help you come up with all of those names. Use your cell phone. Use whatever you need to do to come up with your list. And it can be a very long list. When you run out of those, because you've touched everybody you know, and that will happen someday, then you're doing cold contacting. And cold contacting are strangers and people you meet at meetings and parties and restaurants and grocery stores and Facebook friends of friends. These are the other people in your life that will come into your life, and miracles happen as you go through learning and touching these people. I recommend everyone have a sound 30-second elevator pitch to introduce yourself. Introduce what Miriam is. Introduce what you do and see if there's interest there. And I've got a dozen of them that I use in different times, different ways. I'm happy to share those if anybody wants to see them. Just let me know. Anyway, your job is not to sell. It's to get their contact information and add them to the list. Then you categorize the list. You put them in an RRP. Are they close enough to come to a party, or are they in an area where you know you have a brand partner or some team member that they can go to that party? That's optimal. That's one of the best ways to get them, because there's a whole bunch of reasons why. I don't want to go into detail, but we know that RRPs work. The other is the product prospecting system. These are people you're going to share product with, whether it's the eye serum, whether it's the night cream, whether it's the body cream, whatever it is you're sharing. We have a sound system that works. Now, there are people who are far away that you may not want to give a product to because you'd have to get it back unless it's the end of your bottle. And the eye serum packets are doing really wonderful things for us. But as long as you have people far away, you're going to need another way to talk to them. And so we have the assets in the Miriam Communications Center. This is a most phenomenal system on earth. Then there are sit downs. These are people who may not go to a party. These are friends that you may want to just connect with. And there are specific steps you can take with sit downs. But categorize your list and then go out and start sharing. You are a network marketer. You are, I love this, amateurs convince and professionals. It's just sorting names and introducing and then letting the system do its thing. Sow those seeds and it will work for you. Master the 2-a-day system. Share Miriam with at least 2 people every single day. It will fill up a pipeline and it will work very, very well. You want to franchise your marketing system. And this is what we talked about when I did a training not long ago on the NCC. And one of the primary reasons that Miriam was attractive to me is I didn't have to build my own contact management system with assets that I could drip on John and Jane Smith until they buy, die, or tell you to go away. So this is how it works. I just wanted to give this tiny short presentation and see if there are any questions. And if there are, I'll answer those. And if not, then I'm turning it back to you, Annie. Thank you.
Randy, that was fantastic. Okay, somebody's talking. I can't see the group, but maybe unshare your screen so we can see everybody again.
Okay, let me do that. Stop share. Okay.
Anybody have any questions or comments?
It's Sandy. Hi.
Good morning, Sandy.
Good morning. I'm back with the living, thank God.
Good.
Can I get that list of 12 different pictures you have
Yes.
that you talked about?
Yes.
We'll talk later. Okay, thanks so much.
All right.
Thank you.
Randy, it's Judith. I would also love to get that list of elevator pitches.
Okay.
This was an amazing presentation, and it was a perfect mix for me of, what can I say? I guess, for lack of a better term, Nerium language and advertising language, the headline, the subheadline, and all of that. And it's interesting because I've done retail sales and done really, really well at it. And I was in advertising, as you know, as a copywriter. And the difference, there's that gap, which I never really got what that meant for me until I was in Nerium. In advertising, though I know a whole lot, everything about my target, there's a gap. I never see them, so they never see me. Now it's one-on-one. And so to bridge it that way was very meaningful for me. So thank you for that. And a shout out for helping me. Randy was so amazingly generous with helping me with my business page on Facebook. Thank you. Mwah.
My pleasure. Thank you.
That's awesome.
Hi, Randy. It's Angela.
Hi.
I'm trying on wedding dresses, so I can't have my camera on while I'm listening. Question is, I'd also like the list of 12, and I'm so glad we're going back to NCC because I think I shared with you I had issues with the Facebook Go Build thing. I had asked you this before, and I just want you to repeat it for me. So when you are putting somebody into an email campaign, which I've never used and I need to start using, how are you approaching that, and how are you? I know they can unsubscribe at any time, but I think you're saying, can I send you more information? Was it that simple?
Yes, it is that simple. What you're doing is you're getting permission first. So I never send a campaign to someone who hasn't given me permission to send the campaign first. And part of entering them into NCC, one of the checkboxes at the end is that you are in there with somebody who said they were interested. This is how I count my exposures each day. So I don't count an exposure unless I can put them into the NCC, because, and I probably could, as far as the technical way of doing exposures, but when I put them into NCC, I put them in a campaign that is specifically geared to whatever their questions were. So if they're product oriented, it's a product campaign. If they're opportunity oriented, it's an opportunity campaign. And then I check back with them because the dashboard in NCC is awesome. I get to look at it every morning and see who's opened those emails. Some of them actually show me how much of the video they've watched, and then I give them a call. I just check back with them. The follow-up is important. It's critical because you can drip on someone forever and they may never take action if you never ask a question. So follow-up is really key, but that's how I put them in a campaign. Did that answer your question?
Absolutely. Thank you. And just to clarify, I'm going to a wedding. It's not my own wedding dress.
Yeah, because I was going to ask you about that.
No, I'm going to a wedding in Orlando, my stepson.
Aw, exciting. But Randy, now also in the NCC, you guys, Randy gave us a great tip the last time he trained, which was at the top of your contact management, you can create a profile of your 10 and play, and it makes it a lot easier. You can call it 10 and play. It makes it a lot easier to go back into the people that you're dripping on and where they are in the dripping, phase of where, how many exposures you're doing. So Randy gave us that tip, and I use that too. That's why I'm so excited about the NCC being back and being our main contact management, because that was critical tip for me to keep my 10 and play in there. And when people fell out of my 10 and play, then I could take them to, the B level or C level of where they were in their interest level. So that's awesome, you guys. I cannot thank you enough, Randy, for your amazing training and for taking the time to do those slides. And you guys, I want to welcome just some new people that are on our call today, and there's a few of you, and so I'll say hi to Nazi and Susan, and if there's anybody else that's new on the call on the Zoom, let me know. But this is a call that you can invite anybody on. I say a call, but it's a Zoom, and this is what we do every day is we train together. This is our mastermind group, and we're always looking for people that want to lend some information to the group and want to share. So all you have to do is let me know. Randy's very proficient in slides. Not everybody is, so don't feel you have to do slides to be able to present whatever it is you'd like to. So just let me know if you have anything, because I think the content is amazing, and it keeps us all growing, and it keeps us hearing everybody's story. And so I really, really appreciate your input today, Randy, and all of that great information.
You're welcome. There's a question. Matthew has a question. Can you unmute the 415 number? Because I don't know that the interpreter can unmute that.
Okay, 4155. Which one?
415-994-4202.
Okay, unmute. There you go.
Go ahead, Matthew.
Perfect. Can you hear me now? Hi, Randy. Thank you so much. Very, very good lecture today. But what about the hot buttons like you were talking about? I wanted to ask about the hot buttons.
So what is your question about the hot buttons, Matthew?
Could you just clarify what you mean about the hot buttons?
Yes.
I didn't catch the hot buttons.
Okay, so a hot button is something, if let's say, for example, you need a car. You have a hot button, which is, what car am I going to buy? And you start looking for cars. And then you want a Lexus. So you're focusing now on a Lexus. You've done enough research and you've seen what you want to see. So now every Lexus that drives by, you see. When you're driving down the freeway, you pay attention and you notice all of the Lexus that are on the road. That is a hot button. It becomes a hot button. So in Nerium, we have hot buttons that are related to what we sell. So we have skin creams, we have brain health product, we have other products that are coming down the pipeline. We need to know where John Smith and Jane Smith's mind is with their need for these products. We also need to be mindful of opportunity. So if their job sucks, or if they say things like, oh my gosh, I love what I do, but my boss is just crazy and I can't do what I need to do because I'm handicapped, you have a hot button. So those are the hot buttons that I'm referring to. That answer your question?
Oh, okay, got it. Yes, it does. Thank you for answering my question.
You're welcome.
That's a great question too, because I think also hot buttons are when you're intentional about the fact that you're going to go out today and you're going to meet people in your life. You're going to attract people in your life that want to do business with you and want to be in business with you and want to grow a big giant business with you. And so if you think about those things, then you will come into play with those people. So think about that like you would. And it's absolutely true, Randy, that when you're thinking about a Lexus, Lexuses pop up everywhere. It's like, so yeah, let's all think about people that we want to bring into our life and into our business and blow up our business in every single country. Think about Hong Kong, think about Colombia, Australia, the United States, everywhere we are. I think that's awesome. Okay, guys, we've gone a little long today, but it was worth it. It was awesome. I'll put this on the page, and you can refer back to it, and we will see you tomorrow. Friday is awesome. We love Fridays. So, make sure you put your pictures of activity on the page. Remember to do that because we're going to be tallying up points and giving away some prizes and recognition. So, all right, you guys have an awesome day.
And Annie, tonight is the market party in San Francisco, and Saturday is the regional.
Yes, that's true, and I'm very excited about that. That's also on the page. So if you have people in San Francisco, or please have them go to the market party and to the regional. It's on our page. Thanks, Lisa.
Thank you. Thanks, Annie.
Bye, guys.
Thank you, Randy.
Bye.
Thank
Bye,
you,
everybody.
Randy.
Thank you, Randy. Thank you, Annie.